seismology. Seismology is being studied by physicists, geotechnical and civil engineers. What do you mean by earthquake? It is a transient violent movement. What do you mean by transient is lateral movement. Earth takes in horizontal movement. If you are near to a fault zone, your earth will be moving in 3 dimensions. So you will be experiencing X, Y and Z. So your building might move in Z direction also. If you want to imagine what will be the force of an earthquake is, it is 400 times atom bomb is being dropped. So how much of force it will create? That much of force will be created during the Bhuj earthquake. Bhuj earthquake is happened on 2001. It is around Richter 7. If you want to quantify that, even in one atom bomb which is dropped in Hiroshima, which cost nearly lakhs of people life, and you imagine 400 times of the energy which is released, it is very much huge and large. So this much of force which is underlying below the earth. You can see here there are 3 stages. Why does earthquake occur is you are having tectonic plates. If 2 plates are like this, all the tectonic plates are in movement. So during any movement you can see 2 number of plates will get slide each other. So they might get slide or they might get dip or strike. So there are number of possibilities. What happens during the tectonic movement if it slides each other? So during the slide, the slip will occur. Slip in the sense you will be having some elastic energy which is to be released, and that energy release creates the earthquake. So earthquake is nothing but release of energy. So after the earthquake, both the plates comes to its original shape and a slip is being occurred. What do you mean by slip is after the earthquake, plates find a new place, and it is not a single process. Wherever you find any earthquake, continuously frequent earthquakes will occur. So this is what you can see in the cumulative slip. Japan is one of the country which is having continuous earthquake. China is also another country which is having a frequent earthquake, and at each point you can see that this is the zero elastic stage. Slowly the plate gets moved and it attains certain point and the energy gets released and it comes to its original position. So next earthquake occurs and slowly the elastic energy is being built up, and at one point this elastic energy is getting released and the slip will form. So this is another earthquake. So like that number of earthquakes might occur. So this is known as energy buildup and this is known as energy release. So this energy release point is known as the earthquake. So this is in terms of time in years, and at each and every time the earthquake occurs, you will be having cumulative slip. The place where you are finding today will not be the same land. The land will be changed to some other place in years. If you look into 50 years, the place where you are standing in the fault zone might get changed to different part. So this is the cumulative effect of an earthquake. From the zero, after 4 earthquake, the land will be getting disrupted. So you can see an example here how the land is moving towards each other. So you can see different part of land. So during the elastic energy release, what happens? The shaking of earth occurs, and after the energy release, this land takes a new place. And so this is a place where you can see there is no construction. If construction is less, there is no property damage or life loss. If you are having construction, what happens? The shaking is very high. Then if it matches with the resonance, your structure collapse. And you can see even the vehicles cannot move during the earthquake and the shaking occurs. These kind of small shaking in a road, you can observe the vibration through the vehicle. You have to be very careful in your first floor or the basement of your structure. What happens, even though your top of the story is very strong and capable of holding all the masses, but if the ground floor column is getting collapsed, soon the progressive collapse will occur. So this has to be taken care. Next is focus. Earth is not a single plate, it is having number of plates. 7 major number of tectonic plates are available. So there are 7 large cracks. So what do you mean by that? Fault is a large crack. So it is a crust part of an earth and it moves towards each other. What do you mean by focus is it is the place where the earthquake is getting started. This is the place where the earthquake rupture starts. It is the point within the earth where an earthquake rupture starts. So this is the starting point of the earthquake focus, and this is the fault rupture. After the earthquake, this fault is going to get dip or stripe, like that it might happen. So the point where it starts is called focus. What do you mean by focal depth? Is the perpendicular line from the focus. If you draw a perpendicular line to the earth's surface, then it is called focal depth. According to the focal depth, some earthquakes you can perceive. If the focus and the focal depth is too much deep, you will be not experiencing earthquake. Most of the damaging earthquake have a shallow focus or focal depth less than about 70 km. From the earth below 70 km up to 70 km you can take. If any focus or focal point is available, then you should be getting worried and it might affect the building. If you are having too much deep of a focus, you don't need to worry. Why? Because the earthquake wave have to transfer from the focal depth to the face of the earth. So it takes some time. So the earthquake intensity gets reduced and magnitude also gets reduced. Next is epicenter. It is the point on the earth's surface vertically above the hypocenter. You know what do you mean by hypocenter? That is focus. If you are drawing a perpendicular line and where it touches the earth is called epicenter. The distance from the epicenter to any point of interest is called epicentral distance. So the same way, focal depth, the point where the earthquake starts to the earth's surface is called focal depth. And what do you mean by epicentral distance is if your structure constructed at one point, what is the distance between construction where you are making to the epicenter, which is called the epicentral distance. Number of small size of earthquake takes place before and after big earthquake called main shock. So during any earthquake, you can experience small vibrations. At that point of time, you should get aware and you should come out of the structure between foreshock and aftershock. During those points, you have to just evacuate from the place. Those occurring before big one are called foreshocks and the one after are called aftershocks. This is the global scenario. In an year, how much of earthquake can occur? It has been grouped into these cases. Very minor earthquake is less than 3, minor earthquake is 3 to 3.9, light, moderate is 5 to 5.9, strong 6 to 6.9, major 7 to 7.9 and great is 8 and higher. In year, moderate earthquakes around 800 number of earthquakes in an average it is occurring. Earthquake is not a phenomena which occurs very rarely. You can see globally around 800 number of earthquake which is occurring in 5 to 5.9. Light earthquakes are 4 to 4.9. So these kind of earthquakes you can hear in Bangalore. Around 6200 might occur. Minor earthquakes 3 to 3.9 which might occur around 49,000. In a year you have 365 days. Take it as 400. 400 if you divide by 49,000, you will be getting around 100 earthquakes per day. This is the statistics. Each and every day 100 earthquakes might occur. But what is the magnitude? Is 3 to 3.9, which is not going to affect, and very minor earthquake is around 1000 per day to 8000 per day, which is under a magnitude of less than 3. What we are very much interested is strong, major and great earthquake. So what is the purpose of studying this subject is you are very much concentrated in this earthquake. What happens in our country if great earthquake occur, if major earthquake occur or strong earthquake occurs, how to safeguard us and how to find the forces. This is the world map. These are all the major plates. You can see India here, which comes under the Australian plate. You can see the Myanmar, the Bangladesh, Nepal, Himachal Pradesh, and near Punjab, and around this area frequent earthquakes might occur. So why? Because this comes around the major plates, and in between that you might not experience very high earthquake. What are the countries which are very near to the tectonic plate is, you can see the Arabian country. Arabian country which is adjacent to the Africa. This side you are having a single fault. So this is the Sumatra earthquake in the Indian Ocean. This is India and this is Malaysia, Singapore, and a Sumatra earthquake occurred in 2001. This is the fault which created that earthquake. Around lakhs and lakhs of people were taken by the ocean in different part of world. So this is the fault which caused that. This is China and this is Japan. How many faults are crossing here? You have one, this is one plate, 2, 3, 4. So 4 number of plates are there. If any one plate is going to move, the Japan is going to get affected. If you imagine India, you can see there is only one plate. If any major earthquake should come, this should come from here to the southern part. But for Japan, you can see if both the plates, any of the two plates can make the earthquake. That is why you can see in China, these are all parts of China. So the Chinese people are being largely affected, and also in US, this is US, and in US you can see this extreme part have highly been affected by earthquake. So this is the statistic which I have taken today. Around 67 earthquake is happened on 28/9/2022. Today around 67 earthquake occurred. So these are the place earthquake occurred today. In US only you have higher number of earthquake, and you can see the magnitude 5.4, 4.6, 3.1 like that. These data are available in USGS, United States Geological Survey. So this is the apex of seismic recording observation centers. So if you visit to this website, you can get these data. If you click any of the earthquake, you will be getting magnitude of 5.4 in Loyalty Island, and the depth, here they have given the depth of 10 kilometer. Can you now understand what is this depth? Focal depth. So the earthquake occur below the surface under a depth of 10 kilometer. So for all the earthquake, you will be getting this kind of detail. What do you mean by location is latitude and longitude. You will be having for each and every place you have both latitude and longitude. For a latitude and longitude, the earthquake occurred at 10 kilometer depth. If the same earthquake which is occurred in 20 kilometer, the magnitude will not be 5.4, it will be 4.4 or lesser than that. So if the depth is much lesser, what happens? Your intensity of earthquake will be very much high. These are the rest of the places. You can see the average of earthquake in Greece. You can see earthquake occurred today morning 7:20. Morning 7:20, the earthquake occurred at 43 kilometer of focal depth. So this is the largest depth. And in US, you can see at 1.4 kilometer you had an earthquake. Below the earth, around 1.4 kilometer.